What's up, everyone? Welcome to 49ers Coast to Coast. Grant Cohn, Jason Aponte, and today we're early. We always go live around 2 minutes after the hour, and people make fun of us. It's not just you; it's all of my shows. So now I just set it to 2:05 or 5:05 East Coast time, and now we're early. So ha 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 in your face, Jason. How you doing?
I'm great. First of all, Grant, happy birthday, bro.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
And I actually have a birthday present for you. I talked to Joe Montana. I talked to Steve Young, and they said you're good to come back. We're allowing you to come back and be home and be a fan again. So like I talked to some people. I pulled some strings, and your birthday present is we're allowing you to come back, especially during Cowboy Week. So we need you back over here now because, biases aside, it's got to be 49ers over Cowboys, man.
I appreciate you. And, maybe I will become a fan again one day, but it will definitely not be of any team quarterbacked by Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, anyway. So I love doing shows with Jason because he's great and he's hilarious and he knows his stuff. But also we have a particular day of the week. We're Thursday. And Thursday is a weird day. It's kind of like the low part of the week. It's the previous game is way in the rearview mirror. Anyway, I think it gives us freedom to kind of talk about a lot of stuff. And today I want to kind of delve into the offseason because Mike McDaniel's in the news. He's getting requested for interviews. Adam Peters is in the news. He's getting requested for interviews. I'm kind of curious to hear what Jason thinks the future holds for those two and Jimmy Garoppolo as well. But first, I want to hear what Jason thinks about this game because this is a pretty big freaking game. Let's not go straight to the offseason. Can you tell me what Micah Parsons said? I missed this.
So Micah Parsons was asked about the 49ers physical play. And he said, well, I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where the bullies get bullied. First of all, Zach Randolph said that first. Nice try. Fake tough guy. Second of all, he tried to make it seem like it was some sort of act that the 49ers put on with the way that their brand of football is. And Micah Parsons, I'm not going to kill you because confidence is key, youngster. And when they ask you a question like that, you shouldn't say, yeah, we're going to get dominated on both sides of the ball. But let me ask you this. Your style lends itself more defensively towards the Rams, and they don't want that sort of smoke. So, Micah Parsons, applaud your confidence, youngster. That's what you're supposed to say. But unfortunately, your team isn't built like that. So while you individually, as the kids say, may want the smoke, your defense doesn't want the smoke.
So what he's insinuating, if I'm getting this correct, is that the Cowboys are going to bully the bullies on Sunday because everyone acknowledges that the Niners are the bully team in the NFL right now. That's what he's saying?
Basically. And all you need to know, too, at the real pulse of what's going on, because a lot of Cowboys people puffing their chest out, including Micah Parsons. Listen to Michael Irvin speak. Michael Irvin, every time he does a radio hit, is shook. Not this team. I didn't want this matchup. We don't want this matchup. That's the pulse of the real heartbeat. Like, you puffing your chest out is cool for your confidence, but deep down in your heart, you know this isn't what you want. So again, I get you, Micah Parsons. Be confident. I get it, buddy. But in your heart of hearts, you know what it is. Okay? Like, I could yell about, oh, I'm going to punch this guy in the face when I see him. But deep down in my heart, if I know that he has my heart or he is going to be tougher than me, it doesn't matter what I say. It's a matter about what it is. So,
Micah Parsons is a great player. I expect him to have a great game. But kind of this defense is a little bit like the Rams defense. It's really, you got your great pass rusher, your great cornerback, but it's a little small. It's a little soft in the middle, and it's susceptible to the 49ers style of offense. So, Micah, we'll see about that because the Niners are going to try to bully you. And I'm sure Dan Quinn knows that and he has a plan, but that's going to be on your sort of finesse defense to step up. Because if there's a finesse team in this matchup, it's you.
Right. And that's my thing, is you lend yourself more to the Rams style. The Rams get pushed around. And what Kyle Shanahan is going to make this defense do is make their cornerbacks try to tackle. And they're going to get their guys out blocking on them. Yeah. That's not a good plan for them.
Trayvon Diggs has good hands. We'll see how he tackles.
81st out of 82, I believe, run defense grade, something like that.
Really?
PFF. Yeah, I don't really subscribe to PFF, but when it fits my narrative, I love using it, so it fits right here, and I'll use it.
I know Saleh loved Diggs coming out of college. I'll say that. I'm surprised the Niners didn't get him because I know he loved Diggs. He was right. Good player. Anyway, Micah Parsons. I like when players say stuff like this because I love boxing and fighting, and I think there's so much of that kind of promotion in that sport that should be in the NFL that isn't in it. It's a different culture, but I always applaud it when good players say stuff like this. Like, cool, thank you, man.
And what is he supposed to say?
Yeah.
No, they're gonna whip us on both sides of it. Yeah, no, I get it, but the way he was making it seem was like they've been holding on to this physical style that they haven't exuded at all in 17 games, and
Did
now
you just make a prediction for your whole defense, your whole team? Like, okay, let's see it.
Okay, buddy.
I don't see it playing out that way. This is 49ers coast to coast, and I'm West Coast, Grant. You are East Coast, Jason, and so you know a lot more about the Cowboys than me, than us on the West Coast. That's an NFC East team. Can you tell us about how they sort of dominate their division, but not the rest of the league?
I mean, 6-0 against the division, 6-5 against other opponents, and they played many like opponents as the 49ers. In those
like the opposite
wins,
of the Niners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the argument that we've been getting on our streams the entire time. It's like, well, did you notice that the NFC West is actually a really good division?
Yeah.
Your division is not really good.
Yeah.
So, beating up on the Joe Judge-led New York Giants. Yeah, cool. Beating up on the Washington football team that was much more concerned with being physical with each other on the sideline than being more physical with, they had their players punching each other in the face on the sideline. And the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers beat them in one of their worst showings on offense. But other like opponents that they've had, they beat the Vikings with Cooper Rush. That's that just means the Vikings aren't good. They beat the Falcons. Ooh, got it. They lost to the Bucks.
Yeah.
I forget some of the other teams, but the
Cowboys?
Yeah.
They lost to the Broncos by 14. They lost to the Raiders.
The Broncos whipped them. Yeah, and the Raiders are a playoff team, and exactly. So and they lost at home to the Broncos by a sizable portion. So,
14. Like 30 to 16.
Right. So you can beat up on the NFC East all you want.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to really take that, lightly. I mean, their division is not physical. Joe Judge just yells and doesn't say anything. That's why he's not there anymore. And the Eagles are a mess. They're in the playoffs because there's a 7th spot and somebody had to get it. And Washington football team, they just fell apart pretty quickly. They were not the team that people thought. So I'm not really
hurt immediately. Yeah.
But I think the bigger conversation, aside from this season with the Dallas Cowboys, goes to Dak Prescott's record against the NFC East and against everybody else.
Thank you.
Because that's what really matters. His record is literally like 700 ball against NFC East and 500 against everyone else in the entire NFL. It is that close, and you can look that up. So, again.
So are you saying he's overrated?
No. I'm just saying they take advantage of their easy wins, right? Imagine getting gifted 6 wins a year, and this is the first year that you've actually been able to take advantage of that.
It's true.
Because they weren't 6-0. I mean, obviously, Dak got hurt last year, but this year and the years that Dak are healthy, they beat up on the Giants, they beat up on the Eagles, and they beat up on Washington. But outside of that, Dak Prescott, forget the Dallas team, Dak Prescott's long tenure has him beating up on his own division and then losing games against playoff teams and bigger teams and out of division teams. So I think that their team is a microcosm of what Dak has been his entire career in terms of all of those things. And you can make all the excuses you want about, well, they never had a defense. Well, he would have to throw them back in the game. So those are all true. But the numbers, you are who you are when it comes to your record, because a lot of Cowboys fans are pointing to, well, we played the Bucks at 3 points. Well, we played this team at 3 points. Yeah, the 49ers almost beat the Packers. The 49ers almost beat the Titans. It doesn't matter. You are what your record is. You lost the game. You lost the game. It doesn't matter how much you lost it by. So barely losing doesn't mean that you're a good team. You lost. So that's the thing that kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Absolutely. AZ Gaiman says, happy birthday, Grant. What is the latest on our safeties and Azeez Al-Shaair? Azeez was a limited participant in practice on Wednesday, so I'm thinking he's probably going to play. Also, Hufanga as well, and Tart. So it seems like there's a possibility that they'll all be there.
Everybody's going to be back. This is the healthiest that the 49ers are going to be. And Trent Williams was back today.
There you go. So, good news. Good news. All right, last thing. You alluded to it earlier. Well, maybe you didn't. But if the Cowboys are going to stop the Niners from being bullies, then Dan Quinn is going to have one hell of a plan, and Cowboys are going to have to be able to pull it off. How do you see this matchup playing out between him and Kyle. Because honestly, the last time these two faced each other, I thought Quinn got the best of them, especially when you look at the teams they were working with. Kyle had the better team.
So in 2019, obviously, Julio Jones was a menace, and the 49ers were coming off of their Saints game, and it was tough for them. It was a bit of a letdown game, right?
It was.
And it almost felt like Kyle was saving bullets and saying, I can win this game with a certain amount of players without having to do too much because it is Atlanta. But when you look at the raw numbers and you look at the defense, it's easy to just say, okay, Cowboys are number 1 in pass defense, but they're number 18 in run defense. And that's fine. You're obviously the 49ers. It doesn't matter what your run defense is. It doesn't change their philosophy. They're not going to change that. But obviously you can see where the 49ers have the advantage. But I think that it really boils down to this chess match between these two. And what does Dan Quinn do to sell out to stop the run a little bit? You saw Raheem Morris try to take away outside zones early on in the game, and the 49ers went back to what largely worked in the first game, which was inside runs with Elijah Mitchell, and it got them right back on track with the toss plays and the way that they were creating the angles. Kyle Shanahan,
belly.
Yeah. Yep. Kyle Shanahan's best attribute is using your lack of or over aggressiveness against you. If you're not running hard enough, we're going to run through you. If you're over pursuing, I have cutback lanes for my guys to run back in. That's why when they moved to the toss, it was almost unstoppable, and they were getting 6, 7, 8 every time.
That's right.
But I'm interested to figure out, hi, Kyle, I know you. Hi, Dan, I know you. Who's going to do what this time, and what's going to happen? Do you foresee them leaving single high with Diggs, being one-on-one with whoever it is and trying to bring everybody down into the box a little bit more? What are the looks that they're going to give Jimmy Garoppolo, since he has problems with sinking linebackers and the way that they move guys around? And realistically, Tom Compton's had a great season, but you're up against it now, my man. This is it. Like, Micah Parsons lines up at right tackle every single snap, basically. On the left side, Trent's back. So Gregory and Lawrence, you're about to get thrown in jail. That's not like, I'm not as worried about that because Trent's the best in the world. Colton McKivitz isn't going to be able to hold those guys back. But now, Tom Compton, you against Micah Parsons, this is it, bro. He lines up all the time on the left side of the defense, right side of the offense. So it's going to be about the chess match, and that's what I'm interested in. Who knows who's getting the better of who? And right now, Dan Quinn's defense, I would say this defense is better than the Atlanta defense he had in 2019. So it's going to be very interesting to figure out.
I agree. Well put. Here's what concerns me for Kyle. Not that Dan Quinn is smarter than him or will outcoach him or have a better game plan, but Kyle, to me, has a tendency to, beat himself or overthink things because he's really smart. And what could happen here is he could say, damn, like, Dan Quinn's going to expect me to run, he's going to do this. He's going to not let me, you know what I mean? So I'm going to come out and I'm going to pass. I'm going to take what he's going to give me and I'm going to pass. And that would be a mistake. Just because Dan Quinn is going to be able to anticipate probably a large percentage of what Kyle's going to do doesn't mean he can stop Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell. So don't abandon the run game because you think that Dan Quinn knows it, because it's your ticket to winning. That's all I'm saying.
With Kyle, sometimes I like this portion of what he does, and sometimes I don't. When he sees that something's not working in the game, he rips it out of the playbook and just like, I'm not going back to it because I don't trust it, right? Yeah. Like if Jimmy Garoppolo, he gets a look and Jimmy airmails a pass or it turns into an interception, he says, all right, screw it. We're not going back to that. Well, sometimes that works because maybe you see something in Jimmy where you're just like, we don't want to press it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But other times you might want to go back to it just because it was there. And you can't expect him to completely airmail it again and things like that. So it's a give and take. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I'm like, damn, like you're scared to run it because of, what you saw earlier in the game. So again, I always make this analogy. The beginning of games, it always seems like one of two things. One, Kyle just got his script down and he's going to run through people. And I'm talking about like the Colts game, right? Mm-hmm. Number one rush defense. They ran the ball down their throat, scripted plays, beautiful. Other games, like last week and the Texans game, it's like a boxer setting up his haymaker. He's jabbing. He's trying to figure out where to go and where to attack. And then finally, as long as the game hasn't really gotten away, he knows where to attack. And that's what happens. Both of those games had drives at the end of the half that turned into points. And then you flip the script and you get the ball in the second half and you come right back and you score again. So it's going to be interesting, the chess match. It's less about the matchups and less about that defense against this offense and more about Kyle versus Dan versus Kyle, and who's gonna be ahead of the other.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Like Kyle's in such a great groove right now. He's doing some of the best play calling I've seen from him. Down 17, got back in the game with his running. He's in the zone. I worry for him that he's going to look at Dan Quinn and say, I got to do something unexpected. Quinn's going to watch what I've done the last 4 weeks and have a real beat on it. I got to swerve. I got to do something different. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if he keeps doing the same stuff, Quinn will shut it down. But I am afraid that Kyle is just going to shut himself down, shut his own best things down, and come out with a bunch of stuff we haven't seen in a while. And, of course, then the execution isn't as good and all that stuff. So that's the only thing, because I do think the Niners are – I don't think the Cowboys have the horses to stop the Niners' physicality on offense. I just don't.
But you said it. It was a Freudian slip. You almost called them the Rams. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Man. Same thing. I think it's going to be a lot like that.
Same thing. They, again, punch them in the mouth and they'll fold.
All right. Let's look to the future. Actually, let's not do Jimmy first. Let's save Jimmy. Let's do Adam Peters first. The 49ers assistant general manager has gotten requests for interviews around the league to be a real general manager, and I'm sure he wants that job. Where do you think he'll be next year?
Hard to say, but there's a lot of rumblings over here on the East Coast about the Giants trying to bring him over to be a general manager because he's forward thinking. They like his picks. And there is a little bit of inkling from the people that we talked to over here that if Peters comes, he's going to bring Shanahan coaches, people who are going to install Shanahan's offense and start to put them into a new era, right? The Giants have largely been the rough and tough. We're going to out-physical you. That's code for I don't know anything about X's and O's. Literally, we're building a winning culture. It's all about the guys in that locker room building a culture. You have no idea what you're talking about, dude. You have no plan in place, anything like that. And that's why Joe Judge is ordering beer and pizza and he's in his house now. But yeah, there's a lot of inkling of I've heard a lot about Adam Peters over here, and it's more about the Giants want to start to progress and catch up to the rest of the league where everybody's adopting Shanahan's system and a guy who can identify talent. Look, perfect example. There's a lot of rumblings right now that Adam Peters' guy was Ambry Thomas. And early on, it didn't look like that was something that could be used this year. Now, Ambry Thomas has taken steps every single game, and it's culminated with that interception in a must-have-it game. And could this be another one of those Adam Peters found him later on or had his guy? And again, we don't necessarily know who's Lynch's guy. I mean, we know Solomon Thomas was Lynch's guy. We know certain guys were Lynch's guy or Kyle's guy, but how many of these guys that actually hit were actually Adam Peters' guys and who really knows that story? So it sounds like the Giants are going to be in, but he's going to get tons of requests because there's a lot of people who like his eye for talent and they think that they can have that. And it's about time. The 49ers have been telling you what they feel about Adam Peters' future. Last year, they promoted him to protect him. Now, they're not going to promote him because he's
assistant general manager unless they want to, promote Lynch to, make him like a vice.
Put him at VP and put him at GM. Yeah. I don't know if that happens. I don't think so.
Baseball teams work like that,
Right. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think that they've been trying to protect this and put this off for as long as they can, but it's time. And they go through this all the time, right? They figured it was going to be with Saleh. Now look what happened with Saleh. Probably in 2 years, it's going to happen with D'Amico. And there's another guy that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But people pick from the 49ers, and that's why you have to give them credit for being able to cultivate coaches and have them, one after another. It's like they have a farm system of coaches that guys that come in and step in right away and that are good. But Adam Peters is definitely going to get a lot of looks, but I've heard the Giants have been heavily interested.
Real quick, what about Rand Carthon? You know about him? He's the Niners director of player personnel, and he also got requests. Have you heard anything about him possibly getting a look?
I haven't heard about him. No. I'm going to plead the ignorance on that one.
All right. Well, anyway, Adam Peters, one more thing I want to add about him. He was originally with the Patriots back in the day. He was with the Patriots, and then he went to Denver with Josh McDaniels. So if he goes to the Giants, maybe he gets Josh McDaniels. I don't know. Or
there's a lot to talk about that.
Or the guy we're going to talk about next. What do you think about Mike McDaniel's future, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers? He's gotten 1 or 2 requests. Do you think he'll get hired?
I don't think so this year, but it's starting to happen. I think it's starting to happen. And a lot of people criticize Mike McDaniel for his press conferences, but when you talk to a lot of people, they say he's one of the smartest minds and he has a lot to do with how this run game goes. Yes. I believe it was Andrew Hawkins. He's an analyst now, former Cleveland Browns player. Right. He retweeted that video of him talking about the angles in the run game and how they use it to keep defenses off balance. And he retweeted it and said, one of the smartest minds in the game. And I think that's his reputation around there.
Yep.
So
especially with the run game.
Right. He'll just be the latest Shanahan guy from Shanahan tree that not this year, I don't believe, but next year will probably get a lot more looks and a chance to get hired. But I could be wrong. He could get hired this year. But it seems like this has gained steam out of nowhere, basically. Mike McDaniel is largely gone unspoken about. Like, nobody's speaking about him around here. And now all of a sudden it's all these people out of the woodwork. Well, look, we want to talk to him. Well, he's actually a really smart mind. And I think we all knew that, but I don't think that we knew the reputation was as far and wide as it's been shown the last few days. So it's going to happen sooner than later, but I just don't think it happens this year.
Well, if Adam Peters gets hired, now he's got a friend in a position of power that's hiring. And if Adam Peters can't land Josh McDaniels, this guy has the same name minus the S. Singular McDaniel. Maybe they like
McDaniel. He won't leave you at the altar. He won't leave you at the altar either.
True. So I'm with you. I don't expect Mike McDaniel to become a head coach yet, but the more this offense has success, the less his presentation will matter. People will want that run game because, frankly, I think he might be the best run game coordinator in the league. I mean, the Niners do everything in their run game, and they do it all well. They do everything well.
Yep.
And they except for the zone read. Wait till next year. His stock, if they get Trey Lance in next year and the run game continues to evolve, his stock will be even higher. Mike McDaniel.
That's a good point. And they started to change up the way that they're handing the ball off. And a lot of people have wondered why. Where Jimmy Garoppolo's in shotgun, he gets in, he turns straight back, and he's handing it off to.
That's new.
But that's to create angles and to create that cutback lane. You're able to see the blocks develop, and then if there's a cutback lane, cool. But if not, the initial hole is there. So a lot of this stuff, it's
like no one else does that. Who else does that? And then next year you're going to see everyone in the league do it.
Right. It's intricate and it's small. There's small details, but it's intricate and it's led to success with the 49ers and you can see it.
Football is all about those small details. All right, that's interesting. One more thing on this topic. I find it interesting that D'Amico Ryans hasn't gotten requested for an interview yet. That guy seems like his resume is off the charts. Now, I know he's only been a coordinator for 1 year, but so is Vrabel. Vrabel was a coordinator for 1 year, and his defense stunk. But people correctly identified him as having all the characteristics of a good head coach, and he was a smart hire by Tennessee. D'Amico has the same resume, if not better. Not better.
That's an example of a guy who gets respect without necessarily being the X's and O's guy, right? Like that same way that I just made fun of Joe Judge.
Belichick connection, period.
Right. It is, but he's the only one who really did anything. And I don't even think he was under Bill, right? Like I think he was just in Houston with Bill O'Brien.
Right. But he played for Bill for all
right.
Years.
That's why. Right. So I mean, but Vrabel is the anti Joe Judge. Like Mike Vrabel is what Joe Judge thinks he is.
Right.
That, necessarily being a good coach doesn't have to do all the time with X's and O's and things like that. Getting the respect, getting your team ready all the time. That's what Mike Vrabel does. And no matter who's injured, who's not, that team comes to play, as you saw, when they played the 49ers. And they locked up the number 1 seed in the AFC somehow. Still, they're on a bye this week, and they're getting Derrick Henry back this week. They're a dangerous team.
It's interesting about, real quick, that's a little tangent I want to go on, but the Belichick disciples always fail, except the player. Like Brian Flores just got fired. I like Flores, but I think the problem is they emulate Belichick. They go to a new team. They try to be like Belichick, and the players are like, dude, who the hell are you, man? You're not Belichick. But if it comes from a player like Mike Vrabel and he has this kind of presence, I mean, it's more authentic. Like, well, you did play.
Yeah. Well,
same thing with whoever the hell Matt Patricia is.
Same thing with Harbaugh. Right? Like Harbaugh played, and that's why he's able to talk to quarterbacks like that. And with Patricia's actually a really good defensive mind, but he definitely isn't like head coach material, the way that he talks to players and things like that. And with Flores, unfortunately, that feels like a power struggle between the GM and him, and they made a move to just get rid of him because there's been rumblings that he wanted Herbert, the GM wanted Tua, and here we are. And then they forced him to start Tua when they were winning games with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And that kind of kills the locker room at that point because it's like, all right, who the hell's calling the shots and what are we doing here? Back-to-back winning seasons and you're out? What?
Yeah. All right, last crystal ball projection I need from you, Jason. Where will Jimmy Garoppolo be next year?
I mean,
don't say here.
No, absolutely not. Mean, look, if you listen to what Jimmy Garoppolo's been saying the last few days, and you heard Kyle Juszczyk as well too, he knows it. They know.
What did Juszczyk say? Like Last Dance? What?
Yeah, like and that's it. Like that they were like talking like, dude, this is it right here. Like this could be
Yeah.
the last game, and this is it. It's the last ride. They know it, and even
Yeah.
Jimmy said it in a press conference. Look, I understand what's going on behind the scenes. It's a business. I get it. And he goes, I'm starting to look in these guys' eyes and know that this is the last time.
Yeah,
this is it. So whoever's throwing out these narratives about Jimmy Garoppolo being back, you're either just trying to be contrarian and get people riled up, or you're just not understanding the business of this. You don't trade 3 first-round picks for a guy. First of all, you've already put him on the ice for a year. You're going to put him on ice for a second year? Like,
which again would be like a third year because he didn't play the year before. You know what I'm saying? So,
So, like in Kansas City, you did it with Alex Smith. They went 10-6. They went out in the first round, and then that's it. You moved them, and you got Kendall Fuller, and you got a third-round pick, and boom, you go right to the kid. That's it. Like it's not hard to think about what's going on here. It's not rocket science. But the 2 teams that jump out to me right away, Pittsburgh and Washington, because Pittsburgh, it seems like they've already said that they have no interest in starting with a rookie quarterback immediately. And Jimmy Garoppolo can operate that offense the same way that Ben Roethlisberger is in terms of the way they run routes, in terms of they want to play defense and control the ball. And Deontay Johnson, I love him. I think that he's a fantastic receiver, but he runs a lot of underneath, slants, things like that, quick timing stuff. Ben doesn't have the arm to go down the field anymore. Chase Claypool is what is utilized the way that Kyle wanted to do Jalen Hurd. So that also kind of lends itself to it. It's just who's going to be their offensive coordinator. Matt Canada is just whatever right now. I mean, they made the playoffs, and even they admitted they were like, we have no idea why the hell we're here or how we got here. But Pittsburgh and then Washington. Who knows how severe this Ryan Fitzpatrick thing is? Because it's a really bad injury apparently, and it's going to take him a while to get back. Heineke's fine. It's a nice little story, but Ron Rivera is on the clock now because this was a team that was supposed to compete this year, and the connections between, they have the Panthers offense that they run over there. They have a guy that they should be using like Deebo Samuel, Antonio Gibson, a former receiver turned running back that they never use properly. They have a guy underneath J.D. McKissick. Terry McLaurin is a guy who exceeds exceedingly well everywhere in the field, but intermediate as well. So I'm looking at teams that are in the middle of not being able to get a quarterback, but need somebody who's a stopgap and can actually help them compete. And say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, he can do that for both of those teams. Pittsburgh's not going to start over. They're not starting over. They're not going to start over right now. They may draft somebody late in the draft, but then, it's not something where they're just going to say, well, Ben's gone, we're just scrapping everything. Like Tomlin's not there to rebuild. Like they're there to continue to try to be in playoffs.
Yeah, my thing is, it's like he's an expensive stopgap. You got to give the Niners a pick, and then you either have to give him $27 million or an extension. I
would say this. If the 49ers are going to move, they'll take the pick, but they're going to have to eat some of Jimmy Garoppolo's money too.
Yeah, I see that.
They're going to have to they're going to have to take some of that money and just say, "Hey, listen, we'll pay $5 million of it." Then he becomes 22, right? Like, but the cap's going up. Other guys are not going to be here, so they're going to have to maneuver it some way. And the Wizard, man, he's just going to turn it into a signing bonus or whatever and save the money.
I got a team. One team popped in my head recently. Houston. They played Houston, and a lot of coaches over there were coming over to Jimmy say hi. He spent a lot of time talking to the players. It seems to me that their GM, Nick Caserio, was with New England when they drafted Jimmy, and that New England group has always been very gung-ho on Jimmy. They all believe in him. And I don't know how Pittsburgh feels about Jimmy, but I know that New England, from, McDaniels to Belichick to this dude, really like Jimmy, and maybe they feel if it doesn't work out with Deshaun Watson, that Jimmy could at least provide stability. Like for them, Jimmy's a big step up.
Right. Well, here's the question. Davis Mills has taken steps, and he's looked really good. I think we could say that he was the second best rookie quarterback. But here's my question. What if Houston goes ahead and signs Brian Flores, because the reason that Deshaun Watson wanted to go to Miami was to play for Brian Flores? Is Brian Flores enough to convince him and that ownership to come meet in the middle, and he'll play for Flores, right? Or there's rumblings.
Is that still an option? Like, can Watson play? Or are these
Well, I mean, he's not charged on anything. They've just been having him inactive. So, like, I don't know what's going on, but there's another thing that's kind of been out there, and Croc pointed it out, and I saw other people talking about it. It almost felt like Cully was a placeholder for Josh McCown. if you remember that, right? So Josh McCown, all right. So yeah, hear me out.
Whoa,
So
what?
Josh
I think you're saying Josh McDaniels.
No, Josh McCown was there as the backup quarterback. He was released, and he actually interviewed for a head coach with the Texans.
Wow.
And he went to go coach high school so he could learn time management, do timeouts and things like that, right? So
Sure.
and there's a lot of talk.
And he was coaching high school and then came back and played like a couple of times, right? Yeah.
Right. So you're talking about like a lot of the people like Tom Pelissero, a lot of them are bringing back up the
Was he doing like Friday Night Lights in Texas?
Yeah, I guess something like that.
Nice, cool.
But
sweet.
I mean, look, and then the other thing is you're expecting the Houston Texans to do something that they never do, which is do the right thing and be competent. So that's a whole other thing. Like there's this whole chaos thing that they'll throw in there where they'll hire a guy, bring in somebody else, and it's just there's a lot of things at play here. Who knows what the hell is going on in Houston? But it is true that Watson wanted to go to Miami to play for Brian Flores. So do they bring Brian Flores in and say, "Look, man, we're sorry. Here's your guy. Can you stay here, please?" Or do they just move on altogether? And it's just a lot of moving parts because there's not that many head coaching jobs. Like right now, Brian Flores is the most attractive head coach candidate right now, because we don't even know where Harbaugh is at and if that's even true at this point. So it's really going to boil down to that. The only other thing that I could say is that like if Flores goes somewhere like Denver, Watson might want to say, all right, now I want to go to Denver. Like now I'll go there. Like it seems like a lot of what the idea of him going to play in Miami.
Flores that much?
Yeah, that's why he wanted to go there. Yeah. I mean, well, that and, playing in Miami. That also helps too.
I just have a hard time believing that a player has that high, like strong of an opinion on any coach. Like, what do you know about Brian Flores, Deshaun?
He's a coach.
Yeah, that's great. But like, why is he a better coach? Like, what about D'Amico?
Yeah,
what about D'Amico?
He's not gonna be a head coach though.
He should.
Not right now.
I'd rather go for D'Amico than give Flores a second shot. I'm just saying. I think D'Amico's going to be a better head coach than Flores. Flores is cool, but these Belichick disciples don't work out. They all come across as, trying to be like him, and I think it's inauthentic unless you actually play.
Joe Judge is sending it up. No, but Joe Judge is sending it up for you right now because he thought the same thing too. A special teams coach that was going to come in here and make guys run laps.
Dude, what are you doing? You're not Bill Belichick. You can't pull that off. Sorry. Jacob says, I've been living in Dallas most of my life. This Cowboys D is brittle. If we keep running the ball, they will break.
Shout out to Jacob. He knows his shit.
Stick to the same mentality you had against the Rams. The Rams are a good tune-up for the Cowboys. Although I do think the Cowboys are better. I like their wide receivers better.
Well, it all depends because a lot of what happened last week was Sean McVay kind of crapped the bed.
He did crap the bed. 3rd and 1, quarterback sneak. Instead, you get sacked. Kyle wouldn't have got sacked in that situation.
And Kellen Moore sometimes Kellen Moore looks like, oh, he's a bright mind, and here he goes. And then other times he just goes into his shell as well too. So we're gonna find out.
We shall see. I agree, Grant. I knew Kyle was in his bag when he hit that Debo trick play, perfect play, call, and gutsy. Yeah, season on the line. Good call.
Perfect Clay call.
I think my opinion of Kyle has grown so much after that game. I mean, to come back and save your season with your run game after you abandoned 2 Super Bowls.
Everybody was warming up the fires. They were just like, when it was 17-0, everybody was going crazy. Everybody was
not just like bench Jimmy. It's like trade Kyle. And Kyle's like, no. We're gonna say, watch. I'm gonna stick to my run game. Yeah, like, dude, could you have done this in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl, please? But no, at least you did it now. I'm just saying, at least you did it now. They're undefeated when Deebo Samuel gets at least 6 carries in a game.
That's the formula.
I'm picking the Niners this week. I'm not picking against them until one of those 2 running backs get hurt.
I got the Niners too.
Yeah. Stay with the Niners, but would you ever consider covering another team? No. Like, just no. I don't have to. I can do this the rest of my life. I got a YouTube channel. I can do what I want. I don't have to. I don't know other teams' history like I know the Niners. Like, I have to go learn. If I was going to cover the Detroit Lions, I'd have to go. No, I don't want to do that. Who the hell wants? I'd have to live in Detroit. Nothing against Detroit.
I can't wait to meet Dan Campbell in Mobile. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And Salah's going to be down there too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, say hello to him for me. Jimmy G is the Russell Westbrook of the NFL.
Empty stats and never winning.
Yeah, pretty much. Empty stats.
Or a turnover machine and never winning? Is that it? Is that the analogy?
I was rooting for Russell Westbrook because we were in the same grade at UCLA. And he was when he got there, no one knew who the hell he was. He was a good success story. He's like a 4-star recruit, late recruit. Anyway, split Jimmy's $27 million to 2-year contracts, performance based. This makes it easier for Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But again, like, so now some team's going to have to, sign on for 2 years of Jimmy. I don't know. I guess you made an interesting argument with Pittsburgh, but I don't know. They may find Jimmy a little too expensive.
Parag's watching, so he knows. There you go, Parag. You got it, Wizard.
What about New Orleans?
New Orleans is up there. It just depends on what Sean Payton thinks. I mean,
they got Jameis though.
Yeah, no, he's a free agent, so that's up to them to bring him back now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
They're not gonna run it back with. They're not gonna run it back with Taysom and this guy. But Jameis is out to be picked up.
Oh, he is a free agent. That's
yeah.
It was void years. Wow. Okay, never mind. Sorry about that. Yeah, so could be him. Them.
Maybe.
All right. Maybe. So now that I know that Jameis Winston's a free agent, that's who Pittsburgh is going to sign. Boom, right there. Bet you a nickel.
A nickel?
A whole nickel that Jameis Winston goes to Pittsburgh.
I bet you 10 cents.
Oh, damn. You did. Oh, that's a little rich. Okay, that sounds good. All right. I don't think Houston giving up on Mills. Good. They shouldn't. I like Mills. Like,
I mean, and that's what sucks about Cully getting fired, dude. He progressed and he did what he did with Mills, and it's like he was a fall guy. Like, and that's another thing. Why would anybody ever want to go coach Houston when there's such a train wreck all the time, bro?
No, I agree. The only thing I'll say is that if it's true that was a 2-year contract, then he knew what he was signing up for.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible. Like, really? He never had a chance. What's the point? And if I were a player on that team, I'd be pissed too. Like, what were any of us doing here? This is a big waste of time. Isn't Vrabel the Belichick guy? Yes. That was the distinction I was saying. Maybe Belichick's players will go on to be his coaching tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he never coached under Belichick. He coached.
No, he did not. Yeah. He coached at Ohio State and whoever was in Houston. Dez caught it.
He did, but they lost.
Oh. This Sunday's running backs, Mitchell, Debo, Lance, Wilson, Hasty, Sermon. We're going for 50 carries. Let's get it. Remember, Sermon's been activated too. I don't think Lance is going to play. How many snaps for Lance in this game, you think?
0.
It's going to be 0. Parsons or Diggs, if we lost, which one of them is the reason?
Parsons. I mean, look, Jalen Ramsey had an interception that was like bounced off somebody, but Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to look. If you're a quarterback, right? Yeah. That guy or Diggs, I don't care how many yards Diggs is giving up. You're not going to throw at Diggs, dude. Like, unless he makes a play on a slant or something like that. So
they can basically avoid Diggs the whole game. But the Niners getting 3rd and 7+, there's not a lot you can do to avoid Michael Parsons.
And he's not really going to throw the ball outside the numbers on those. I mean, that was that one play, like when he had to have it. He's still going to throw in the middle of the field. So I don't really see him testing that. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you, Christopher. Watching Joe Montana docuseries has got me hyped up. You got to check it out. Go Niners.
It's on Peacock. It's on Peacock.
On Peacock? All right, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you. I'll be chilling in Arlington by myself this weekend. So, does Jimmy have a no trade clause? Not anymore. Mm-mm. Now, maybe he had one last year, right? Mm-hmm. Not anymore. Maybe that's why the Niners waited a year to trade Jimmy Garoppolo so they could trade him to Houston without him vetoing it. You guys, the best duo. Keep it up.
Appreciate you, Art.
That was really nice.
That's a nice thing to say, man.
It's a really nice thing to say. I appreciate it. All right, last thing. DJ. Oh, wait, hold on. I hate when I do it and I don't make it scroll at the bottom because it's whack when it doesn't scroll. Whack. Okay, now it's going to scroll. Nope, here we go. DJ Reed posted a hype video on Twitter last night, and it was from like 2 years ago. I think it was one of the first roundtables with me and Leo Luna. And I was like, okay, the Niners just waived DJ Reed. What do you guys think? And Leo's like, they're not going to miss him. He'll be fine. And I guess, I don't know, DJ Reed, big fan of the show, caught it, saved it, put it out on the internet, and in Leo's face. How you feel now, Leo?
Get owned, bozo.
I didn't say anything about it. That was all Leo. I set him up.
No, it came out, and I texted him. I was like, "Get wrecked, nerd! You just got wrecked by a Seahawk." No, good for DJ Reed, man. But I mean, here's the thing: is I know players use a lot of motivation and things from the way teams treat him, but it was clear what the 49ers are trying to do. Waive him while he was injured and then sneak him back on the team, but Seattle steals all the players. So it wasn't like they were disrespecting DJ Reed or anything like that. It's just when Leo was like, oh, if they put him at nickel, good, man, for the 49ers.
Here's the thing, what I've noticed. I feel like from the fans to the players, there's a feeling that these West Coast teams don't get enough coverage nationally. Like a lot of the people that watch this show are from like North Carolina or just wherever they can't get Niner coverage. They're not in the Bay Area. They don't.
They talk about us for 10 minutes on.
Yeah, they don't talk about the Cowboys and the East Coast teams. And I think these players they wish that Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith would talk smack about them, and just the fact that we do it, we provide it. I think they get a kick out of it. I think they find it highly entertaining, even when we're critical of them, because that's the part of the whole life that they want to be in. They want to be the center of attention in all those ways. It comes with it, especially when you're on the Cowboys or the Bears, the Packers, the Giants. Not when you're in the Niners, though.
And the competitive nature. I want to hear you say that I can't do something just so I can do it, and shut you up. Like, the best thing in the world for me is when someone's like, you're wrong, and I show them, no, I'm right. I love that part of it, right? So he look, no disrespect to DJ Reed. The only thing that I took exception and why I jumped in was because some 8-string wide receiver from Seattle was like, yeah, that cornball doesn't know shit. And I retweeted him. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse on here. But I retweeted him and I said, bro, that tweet has more likes than you have career catches in the league. I was like, you might want to sit this one out. Like, he had 2 likes, he has 0 catches. Bro, look, what Leo said was not personal towards DJ Reed in any way. And when you give as many opinions as we do on a daily basis, you're not going to get them all right. But for you to take it personally and say that about Leo or whatever, that's why I put my foot down. So, hey, whatever. He deleted the tweet and he went away or whatever, but because everybody was like, bro, who are you? Like I looked up his name, and the creative player in Madden, that's the face that popped up. I was just like, bro, never heard of you. And that's cool. You play in the NFL, and I'm just a guy who talks about it in front of some Batman stuff, but you got as many catches as me. And I never wanted to be an NFL player, so you're not living my dream. I don't care about that, but like, don't make it personal, bro. And then like when people come at you, like, go ahead and tuck your tail and run. So I had a little fun last night with it.
I'm sure DJ Reed isn't mad at Leo Luna.
No,
I think
not
he got
at all.
a kick out of it, and I'm sure Leo got a kick out of it, and I think that's what's so cool about it.
Right. Leo responded to DJ Reed and said, "Hey man,
congrats."
He was like, "I'm wrong, but I'm happy to see you balling." Like, there was
exactly
again, what Leo said.
You want to be wrong, and you want to see a guy succeed like that. You think Leo's over there been like, "Damn, DJ Reed's making me look bad." Damn.
No. I promise you, I texted him, and I was like, you just got owned, bozo. Like, but that's it. Like, again, we give opinions, and when they're wrong, they're wrong. There's not like nobody shoots 100 from the field. So, but like when that receiver, whatever the hell his name is, because he's never gonna catch a pass. When he said that about Leo, I'm like, yo, don't make it personal, bro. I was like, you still have 0 catches in this league. We don't even know you. Like,
I just appreciate DJ Reed sharing clips of my show. Like, more players should do that. I like that. Do that. Tell me when I was wrong. Pass out clips of me being wrong about you. I would love the free promotion.
Well, it was you just loading up the question. You weren't
no,
saying
you didn't give it. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff too. It doesn't have to be just Leo. I want the smoke. Give me the smoke. Leo got all the smoke. Give me some.
That's it.
My dad surprised me with tickets to the Dallas game. This will be my first Niner game as well. Also, I'm asking for your autograph if I see you. LOL. Dude, I don't sign autographs, man. That's silly.
Wow. Big time.
No,
saying no.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. Just come over and shake my hand, and maybe we take a picture together. But I'm not a celebrity. It makes me feel weird. Autograph? Would you sign an autograph if someone asked you to sign an autograph?
Nobody's going to ask me to sign an autograph, so I don't have to worry about that.
Well, no one has ever asked me to sign an autograph, but I just feel like no one has ever done that. That's weird. I'm not actually a celebrity.
Don't be that guy.
But someone would come up to me and say, can I take a picture with you? Like, yeah, of course. That's cool.
Yeah.
It just seems like, I don't know. Because as a kid, my dad was like, don't ask the players for autographs. So I always kind of think it's kind of I wouldn't ask people for autographs. So it's kind of weird to.
But Mr. Cohn would be super excited if someone asked his son for an autograph. So I don't know if that logic.
That's a good point. All right, hey, if you want an autograph, you know what I can do. SAL says, happy birthday or belated birthday, great. No, it's my birthday right now. Thank you. I really appreciate all you do, bro. Wish my wife and I could have saw you in Nashville. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, my wife, we could have done. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Could have asked him for an autograph.
Flame says Trey QBR after 2 starts equals 28. Much worse than all the rookies this year after their first 2
bust. Absolute bust.
Bust his QBR. Jimmy QBR 2 times better with 1 game in a hurricane, man. This guy has got all the numbers. Trey is just not good right now. He's just not good right now. I'm surprised he didn't say, bro, deal with it. Because the Jimmy Garoppolo fans always did. Hey, bro, how's it feel? Deal with it. No, I love you, Flav. Thank you for $10. I thought Trey was actually pretty good.
Both of them similarly started their games. It's just that one was playing in a bigger game against a better opponent, and they both turned it around in the second half. So,
yeah, he's just not good right now. As opposed to Jimmy,
Raw stats aren't the way to evaluate. You got to take a little bit into account eyes, what's going on, opponent, stuff like that. So, like, to just say that, I mean, the only other argument I could say is like, okay, Trey started against the Houston Texans, but I could also make the argument Trey started against the on fire, unstoppable September and October Arizona Cardinals in his first game, and he almost beat them, and Jimmy got smoked by 38, whatever, so it's like, you can make arguments all day to cherry pick whatever it is that you want for your narrative. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he just found a couple of stats. The way I watched the tape really clearly, and what I saw from Trey Lance in the second start was, more that frenetic stuff from the first start where he's just missing things. He's not on time, but still making plays. In the second half, he was ripping throws with anticipation from the pocket, hitting his back foot. And I was like, so I don't know what you're looking at, Flav, but after watching the tape, that second, actually really starting in the first half, that last drive in the first half and into the second half, he was playing quarterback. He wasn't an athlete. He was playing quarterback. I think that was extremely encouraging. It shows his growth, and it makes me feel like the Niners are going to be Super Bowl contenders with him next year. So I feel.
And the first half, like, everybody wants to make it seem like Trey was terrible. He wasn't terrible. He just wasn't doing any like that. That was a very Jimmy-like half, 10 or 12 for like 78 yards. Like, that just means the offense was struggling and Kyle was trying to get his footing. What you point to, and when you watch Trey play, is he's struggling. He could have folded up, but he didn't, and he continued to grow throughout the game. Again, so the raw numbers are not going to tell you that like that. So that's why it just can't be, well, this is his QBR. That's not how you indicate his performance without a little bit of the eye test as well.
Because a lot of his biggest detractors say he holds the ball too long. Not on the throw to Kittle down the middle, not on the throw to Jennings to the left, not on the slant to Debo. Like he made a bunch of quick throws with anticipation on the money in that game that I was like, oh, I never saw. I didn't see this in training camp. I didn't see this at North Dakota State. He has improved. And to me, it's just like, well, if he proved that much in 2.5 games and scout team time, like, what would he look like right now if he'd had 17 games? What would he look like? I don't know. Because we see that there's no amount of playing time that's going to lead to improvement for Jimmy Garoppolo. He is just remarkably consistent in his inconsistencies.
And the skill set can make up for certain things. If he's a hair behind, he has the arm to get it through there. Jimmy can't be a hair behind. Jimmy has to be on point with the decision and the throw on the right time. And he has shown that. But Trey has things that sometimes while he's developing can get by with his arm because it is a little bit stronger. So
or if he passes up an open receiver like he did, what he did in the Houston game early on, there was that. Remember, he looked to the left. He had Debo and Kittle running slants. Both were open, threw neither one, scrambled, and hit Ayuk for a first down. Great, but you need to hit the open receiver when they're open. And he was doing that in the second half. So he can do it. He did it. I'm encouraged.
Second start.
Tapia says, happy birthday, Grant. Thank you, Johnny Tapia. I don't think he knows who Johnny Tapia is. This kind of off topic. I love Johnny. It was one of the better all-time villains in movies. That movie is really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This kind of off topic, but what's up with Aaron Banks? With all respect, is he really that bad? He seems like the one guy that they don't say anything about.
Well, think about this too. Here's the surprise before the Rams game. We find out Trent Williams is not playing, and your first thought is, okay, Jalen Moore, natural left tackle, actually played pretty well against the Colts, and then it's Colton McKivitz.
Yep.
So
what? Yeah. What's up with the two offensive linemen that they drafted? Yeah. Both of them. What's up with that?
Colton played well though, but man, Jalen Moore stepped into a position against the Colts front that was really tough, and he played pretty well. And then I understand he struggled at right tackle, but he's a natural left tackle. So what about what's been going on there? You're like, no, I can't even turn it. Colton McKivitz never played a game.
Yeah, but Banks is really concerning because, Ambry Thomas was sort of in the same boat, but then he improved, and they talked about they don't talk about Ambry Thomas. Just like, doesn't sound like he's improving, or like he seems like he's way far down the pecking order from ever being even considered to be going into a game. What the hell? That's not good.
It did take a lot of injuries for it to happen, but hey, who cares how he got here? Ambry Thomas is playing very well, and right now Mosley and Thomas is the best combination since Mosley and Verrett in the beginning of the season.
But it went from like, oh, the Niners drafted Banks because Tomlinson's going to be a free agent in the year and they're going to need a replacement, to the Niners are going to re-sign Tomlinson.
Oh yeah, they got to bring Lincoln back.
Exactly. Plot twist: Jimmy to Tampa to be Brady eventual replacement.
Brady will ex-nay veto that, never let that happen ever again. That's why he already got him out of there.
Was Jimmy the one he was talking about in that barbershop interview thing?
I'm starting to think it is. I mean, I know that
Did that ever come out?
No, I know that your buddy Albright said that he was talking about Tannehill or whatever because he said that he would never go there or whatever. Right? Like that's
Tell
that's
Albright
the
to unblock me, man. It's been 2 years. Why are you still
y'all
mad
need,
at me?
y'all just need to have a versus. Like y'all just have to
I
talk
don't
it
even
out
know
on
why he
it.
dislikes me.
Yeah, I don't know
No
either.
one I'm the most likable person. I just mean I like him.
It's because you don't know ghost motion.
Grant, were you going to admit you're the biggest Niner fan out there? You say you're not, but I know you are. Well, I'm not a Niner fan, but I've dedicated my life to thinking and talking about the 49ers. So what does that say?
Talk to him, Austin. He knows.
Cooper Kupp torched us last week. Who's Dallas's Cooper Kupp? Have you heard of CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper?
No, Cedric Wilson. And what I mean by that is they're going to be on the outside, those two guys, Cooper and CeeDee. You know that those are the guys, right? But Cooper Kupp early on in this game, the 49ers started out and they thought Dante Johnson was going to be able to keep up with him for a little bit. That was a little bit of a mistake. As much as everybody makes their jokes about Dante Johnson, there have been very, very good cornerbacks who have not been able to cover Kupp. But Cedric Wilson's actually a really good player, and that's somebody you need to keep your eye on. Cooper Kupp is the number one option. I get that. But he's like the guy who lines up inside. So K'Wan Williams being back is a really big thing this week.
That's right. Nick says, what does your job entail besides having to covering the Niners on YouTube? Well, that doesn't sound rude. Just genuinely curious. Thanks, Grant. Happy birthday. Not much more than that. I for Sports Illustrated's website, si.com/NFL/49ers. I live in Oakland. I commute to Santa Clara. I come home. I'm in my bedroom. I'm talking to my friend. It's a great freaking life. I love it.
And trolling.
Huh?
And trolling.
And trolling. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to do some trolling. Trolling on Twitter. You can't go. You got every few hours. You got to just piss people off and then come back to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Oh. Jimmy getting hurt against Cowboys and Trey takes over.
Can't wish for that.
Dang. Well, that's why he put it in one word because he didn't actually want to type it out in the actual.
Right. Yeah. Can't wish for that.
Aaron Rodgers had a QBR of like 15 in week 1, so I guess Lance performed better than Rodgers. QBR means nothing.
Talk to him, Jay Rico. That's it, man. Now we got to it. Lance better than Rodgers. It's about time. Goodness gracious.
Thank you. Took long enough. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you for the super sticker. There's a couple more. Kyle going with Jimmy has more to do with his comfort calling plays for Jimmy than Lance not being ready. Kyle needs all offseason to prep Lance with plays. I agree.
That's fair. And that's why he went into this game with Jimmy.
And that's what Kyle said, right? It's not a reflection on Lance. It's a reflection on me. Fine. Here's my thing. I really think that the Niners basically should win the Super Bowl this year. What Debo's doing is crazy. He's the best player in football right now. He's like Steph Curry or whatever you want. He's just transcendent. And they shouldn't be wasting this year. I think they could win it I think this could have been the first team to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback if he's talented enough, which theirs is. And I don't know about Jimmy. He had his chance. I hope he doesn't lose and be the reason they lose. But I'm kind of expecting that if they fall short, that's going to be the reason. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So far, he keeps getting up off the mat when it's like 8, 9. Nope, Jimmy's up every time. If Adam Peters goes to New York, are you going to join him as the head of quality control? I don't know.
Hey, you got a place to stay on the East Coast.
Appreciate it. Solid didn't take me to the Jets. Man, I don't know if
that's wild.
Take me to the Giants.
Well, it just wasn't your time, right? Like it's not that you weren't ready right then. It's just everybody, like I said, D'Amico's not going to be head coaching, interviewed this year, but next year he will be. So
I got something to say, and it's the truth. Quality control pays a lot better on YouTube than it does on an NFL team. All I'm saying.
Does it pay better? Does it pay better than Sean McVay's get back coach? Because he let that man run into the end zone when it was 17-0.
I saw Andy Benoit in the press box in LA.
Oh, that's
I forgot that he works for the Rams now. Like, what does he do there?
I don't know.
He's just walking around.
I mean, he's the king of horrific takes. And then
yes, the Rams, and now he's helping them blow.
The Rams were like him, bring him in the front office. Love
Camille, thank you. You're the GOAT. Cowboys soft like Rams as long as the arsonist doesn't burn the house down. I like our chances. I don't think Kyle let him. I think Kyle gets it. I think he's locked in. He's not going to let the Niners go down without Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel having a word about that. Not going to let it happen. I respect it. Because he has more confidence right now in Elijah Mitchell than he ever had in Mostert. They were always trying to manage something with Mostert, whether it was his knee or whatever. But Elijah Mitchell, they're like, oh, you're breathing? 25 carries.
Yeah. And I got to eat a little bit crow here, too, because when I was talking about Elijah Mitchell, it was about, well, they don't really have anybody that they can trust or is healthy or anything like that. Well, Jeff Wilson was playing well. And if Elijah Mitchell's on there, it's 20-25 carries. So Kyle has kind of shifted his, 4 backs thing to workhorse.
Yep. I respect it. Mario Gonzalez says, happy birthday, Grant. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mario. Scotty, does Mosley cover Lamb or Cooper? Mosley plays the right side.
Right
right?
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends. I don't think he shadows.
Yeah.
So it'll be them rotating them on both sides to get them on Ambry Thomas. And this is no disrespect to Ambry Thomas, but again, in the same way, if you're the 49ers quarterback and you see Trayvon Diggs and you see some other guy, you're gonna go after the other guy. You see Emmanuel Mosley and you see Ambry Thomas, you're gonna go after Ambry Thomas. And Emmanuel Mosley knows that all too well, because when Richard Sherman in 2019 was on the other side, he never got the ball thrown to him because it's like, well, who are you gonna test? Test the other guy. So
Abu Marco 23 says, why can't Lance be a running back for these playoffs? If Debo is supposed to be a wide receiver, right? 3rd and 1, and we got Lance, Mitchell, and Debo back there. Good luck. 3rd and 1, you already have the most dangerous weapon in the planet.
QB sneak.
It's undefeated. No, I don't think we're going to see Lance play unless Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt.
Yep.
Now, I think that's a mistake. I think Trey Lance should have been starting all season, but there's no way for me to prove that I'm right or wrong, which is why I'm going to keep saying it, because I can't be proven wrong. That's why I like the whole thing. I'm theoretically right, and that's the best place to be. Theoretically right. Jason, that's the whole show, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man, and happy birthday, bro. Are you doing dinner or something like that in a little bit?
Yeah, my wife and I, we're about to be done like right now. So we're about to go have a good time.
Happy birthday, bro. It is your birthday, like the office, right? Like you should put that.
Oh, it really is.
House.
I turned 34 today. 34 years old. Debo's in 2 days, so we got that in common.
Oh,
I always knew that there was a lot in common between me and him.
There's a connection now.
Why?
Yeah. So what's your sign?
Capricorn.
So then you're both Capricorns.
That's right. That's right. Love you, Grant. Happy birthday. Thank you. Disagree with you a lot, but you're good at your job and respect you. Thanks, man. Pops is a legend too. Thank you. More importantly, though, Jimmy numbers are actually legit in domes. No elements helps him. Good point. Good point. I hadn't thought about that.
And he'll be playing in front of a lot of 49ers fans again, because those Dallas fans don't sell your tickets. Ticketmaster don't discriminate, bro.
Also, last thing I want to say before we leave, isn't it remarkable how quickly Jimmy Garoppolo's thumb healed? I mean, wow. It was just like one day it was like tearing off the bone, and now it's like, yeah, it feels great, baby. That's amazing.
Well, didn't he curse after the game again? Not in your press conference. So he was talking to the Fox Sports guy, and they were like, "How's the thumb?" And he was like, "It effing hurts." Yeah. So maybe
his agent says people really like when you curse. Keep doing it,
dude. The other thing too, Grant, is he had to gut that out. Again, he couldn't end the season on IR not playing, man, because trade value looks horrible. Like then everybody's gonna say, again, you didn't play and you didn't finish the season.
You couldn't strap it up for week 17. That's why I was surprised with Trent Williams, but he doesn't exactly have that reputation. Jimmy G for a reliable right tackle. Minshew is a backup. Yeah, a backup like Minshew, man. Like, that's fine. Dalton. Yeah, whatever. That sounds good. Right tackle. Yeah, I like that. All right, now the show's over. We're getting out before you give us more money. Thank you.